Hi, Chapel Hill. What a week it has been. Things continue to change all around us, and sometimes in a matter of from one day to the next, things can be completely different. There is a lot of talk obviously going on right now about reopening churches, and I wanted to share with you today where we're at as a church in regards to all that's going on around us. I've been in conversation with staff and elders and really seeking what God has for us as a church right now. And wanted to share a bit of that with you today, as I'm sure you're wondering what's going on and where we stand, and what's going to happen with our future and right now as a church. And so there obviously is a lot going on. We are carefully observing all that's happening and learning what is the right thing to do, and asking God, hey, what do you want us to do right now? What are you doing? What do you have for us? And in the midst of this, I think He's given us some great clarity and some great unity around where we stand. And the reality is that the COVID-19 virus that has had such a dramatic impact on our world continues to spread right here in Minnesota, right here in our own city and community. And the impact that it is having is tremendous. And it breaks my heart to see so much pain around us as people deal directly with the virus, facing it themselves, facing it with loved ones who have it. We have a number of people in our church who are working in healthcare to take care of and bring hope to those who are facing COVID-19. And working hard to find ways to slow the spread of the virus. And with all this going on, where I see us right now and what we've been talking about as leadership of this church is taking a position of compassion right now and simply saying that this is not the time for us to reopen this church and continue to have in-person meetings in this building. We do not want to create a scenario where we risk spreading this disease further by having people together in a room. And we know that it can spread very effectively and very quickly when people are gathered together in a room. And so we do not want to rush into that and create that kind of risk. For the sake of our church, our community, our city, our nation, the world, we do not want to be a part of creating a risky scenario where we could spread this even further. And so we are not ready at this time to open up meetings in this building again. We know that day is coming, and we are working towards that. We are preparing for the day when we are able to meet in the church building again. We're making sure that we have the right supplies that we need and all of the procedures in place to create a safe environment for us to meet. We are also working on drive-in services, outdoor options, so that we can gather in the safest way possible until it's safe to gather inside in that building again. And so that day is coming, and we're working towards that. But we're not there yet. It is not time for us to take that risk and gather again inside of a room together. And so Church, I ask for your continued patience and understanding in this. We are following this as closely as we can. We don't know when we are going to be able to reopen this building. We will keep you posted, and we will continue to track what's going on and pray that God shows us when the right time to meet in there is. And like I said, we will work on other options in the meantime, because I know how much we want to see each other. I miss seeing you guys so much, and I know that you guys miss each other and miss us being together as a church. So keep praying that we know when that time is, and we know how to create safe opportunities outside for us to gather together again. In the meantime, I do not see this as a setback for God's church. I see this as a time when God is doing something profound. He is doing something significant in his church, because the church cannot be stopped simply by not having us meet in a building. That does not stop God's church in this world. And I believe that God is going to make us a more effective church during this time than we've ever been. Wherever you are, at home, in your community, at your workplace, you are the church. I am the church. And we are every bit as effectively the church there as we are here in this building. I believe that we're entering into a time when God is reshaping and re-equipping this church to be the church outside the walls of this building. I believe that there are great things that are going to happen and that are happening right now. And I believe that this is the time for us to pour our energy and attention into equipping ourselves to be the church more effectively than we've ever been the church, to fulfill the vision that God has given us to move this generation from culture to kingdom, to carry out the mission that we have, to guide people into a flourishing, contagious relationship with Jesus Christ. We can do that effectively wherever we are, even if we can't meet together in this building right now. And so we're going to work on doing that more effectively, on equipping ourselves better and better. And so Chapel Hill, I just ask that you would join me in committing to this and committing to being the church right now, and calling God into this to empower us to be the church that he's called us to be. We want to stand in compassion right now and agree that this is not the time for us to gather again in person in that building. Not yet. We'll get there. Meanwhile, let's be the church where God has called us to be the church, and represent him and bring his message of hope and love and compassion and truth to the world all around us. I look forward to the equipping process. I look forward to this Sunday in our online service, when we're going to talk about God's love for us as that foundation that we can hang on to in our series that we call Still Standing. We've been talking about faith, hope, and now love. And how can this be a bad thing? It'll be great to be able to just talk about the love that God has for us. And then to begin a process of equipping ourselves to take that love and share it with the world around us in whatever circumstances we're in, wherever we're at, and be the church that God's called us to be. I do look forward to meeting again in person in that building. That day is coming. I look forward to what God's going to provide in terms of how we can connect with each other and create community in the meantime. All of that is part of what we're seeking God for right now. So pray. Pray for this virus to be slowed, to be overcome. Pray that God guides us to the right things in terms of us gathering, the right timing, the right way to safely do it. And pray that we will be the church that God has called us to be wherever he has us. And let's watch what he does with that. I love you, Chapel Hill. I look forward to seeing you, and I look forward to hearing what God is doing in you and through you as you are the church wherever you're at. I'll see you online on Sunday.